Hello, everybody. Welcome in for another episode of Beyond the Orange, brought to you by the great people at Knoxville Smiles. Coming up tonight on the show, we have Tennessee softball coach Karen Weekly. Coach Weekly, when you look at this year's team, what are you most excited about?
I'm really excited to see how this youth plays. We're really experienced and talented in the circle. But really, that's the only place we have experience. You know, we have obviously a huge honors winner returning there in Carlin Pickens and some really, really good depth as well. Everywhere else, we're really young. You know, we have some players who got some meaningful at-bats and innings last year. But, you know, nobody who you'd go, oh, yeah, that's been a mainstay in the Tennessee lineup, and now she's a senior. In fact, we could start a lineup this year that doesn't graduate anybody outside the circle. But the youth is talented. The youth, they have great attitudes. They get after it in practice. They're really eager. They'll do anything the coaches ask of them. And I'm just excited to see them have the opportunity to get out and show what they can do.
When you have that youth as a coach, do you have to be more patient knowing like it may take them a minute just to figure things out in jail? Because it is going to be new. I mean, it's easy to say, oh, yeah, you just roll right in and do what you did in high school. But, I mean, it's a little bigger stage. You start adding TV and everything else and all the spotlight of it all. It changes.
I think you hope that ignorance is bliss.
Sure.
And they just stay kind of young and dumb all season and don't figure out that, oh, wow, we're on TV, or, oh, wow, here we are in the SEC. You do have to be patient, but you also have to lead the way for them a whole lot more, because they can't really look to their left and right and see somebody who's been there, done that at the highest level. Like I said, we have people who've played innings, but, you know, we don't have this laundry list of all SEC, all American type performers. We have people I believe are fully capable of being that. So we as coaches have to understand that we can't expect them to take the initiative to know what to do. But knowing they're going to go wherever we lead them, we just got to do a lot of leading.
Who are you expecting to step up on this team? Like, who do you have high hopes for that they've taken that jump, whether it be from the high school ranks right into college ball, or from last year, strong off season, into this year? Yeah,
there's a handful. From last year, I would say Ella Dodge, Gabby Leach, and Emma Clark. They played some significant innings for us, did some really big things. I mean, you look at Ella Dodge and the big hits she came up with, you know, in super regionals and even earlier in the season against Oklahoma. She's somebody who I think with that year under her belt is going to play with a whole lot more confidence and just a whole lot more assurance to her game. Emma Clark is a phenomenal athlete. She's put on really good muscle since she's been at Tennessee. She's leading us in every way in the weight room. She's a high energy kind of kid, and I think has just all the ability in the world to be an All-American. Gabby Leach, another one who got some, you know, big innings last year, big moments, stepped up and led off for us that last day in Super Regionals, took that into the World Series, had a great World Series. And then I would say coming in, Sophia Knight is a transfer from Boise State. She's a true slapper. She's going to remind people of Sarah Feckety. Just that triple threat to her game, the speed, the ability to drop the bunt and hit it to the wall. And she's going to be really exciting. And I'm excited about that. Somebody kind of takes us back to those old days. I would also say in our freshman class, Elsa Morrison. So Farragut product, grew up in Indiana, moved down here when she was a sophomore in high school. We've been recruiting her since she was in 7th grade. You could tell she was going to be a stud. And she was one of the top recruited kids in the country. She's going to be our catcher. And I think people are going to fall in love with her real quick. We've got a couple other freshmen that I are really pushing for playing time. Tay Hawley is one. Meredith Barnhart's another. They did some really good things at the plate this fall. And I think you'll see their name in the lineup.
We talked back a couple of months ago. We were talking about, you know, Schutzler, and we were talking about Feckety, and you said that the slapper is coming back. Like it kind of went away.
Yeah.
And now it's coming back. Why is that?
You know, they changed the rule several years ago about the foot out of the box. And it used to be as long as part of your foot was still in the box, it was okay for part to be out. And then they changed it to where your entire foot had to stay in the box. And that just messed up really an entire generation of slappers, because they'd grown up under the old rule and now they're either in high school or in college and they have to make that adjustment, and it's not as easy as people think. I also think that just like in baseball, everybody fell in love with the home run, right?
Yeah.
That's the sexy thing, and you know, and that's what garners the most attention. And I think our game, the pendulum sort of swung in that direction. But I think now people are realizing, hey, you still need to manufacture runs in softball. Yeah, you can hit it over the fence, but there's a value. And we're seeing that shift come back in baseball, too, that there's a value to being able to put the ball in play and being able to execute.
Yeah, I mean, you look at your team when you have a dominant pitcher, like, and the other team has a dominant pitcher. A lot of these games end up 1-0, 2-1. Like the ability to the ability to play small ball. I mean, because y'all had we talk about Shuster, we talk about Fackett. You had India Childs who could do it. You had a run of those type of players that had a lot of success. And by the way, not to date us here, and I'm gonna date myself more. The fact Fackett's got a kid that's gonna be coming to play for you is altogether concerning for me.
Yeah, we're pretty excited about her, and I guess I can talk about her because she signed. But yeah, Hallie Kate Bailey, that's just really fun to have somebody, coached her mom. Tay Hawley, who's on the team this year, a lot of people don't know, but her mom played at Tennessee. She was there before Ralph and I came to Tennessee and played for the first coach, Jim Badia. Candace Fody was her name at the time. So we've got our first legacy kid on the team right now, but we'll have the first one next year that Ralph and I had the opportunity to coach.
The first weekly legacy kid.
The first weekly legacy kid, yeah.
Well, she might be Bailey, but she'll always be Fackett.
Exactly.
We'll talk more about the growth of Tennessee softball when we come back with Coach Karen Weekly right here on Beyond the Orange.
Matlock Tire Service and Auto Repair is proud to be celebrating 70 years of serving East Tennessee. That's 70 years of old-school customer service, trustworthy auto repair, and of course, great deals on tires. Each one of our 5 convenient East Tennessee locations feature family-friendly waiting areas, and you can schedule appointments and search for tires right on our website at matlocktireservice.com. Modern convenience, hometown values. For 70 years and counting, Matlock Tire Service and Auto Repair.
A beacon of hope in a world of high prices. Look to the skies, Knoxville. Super savings is here. Right now, get 0% APR, 0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days on select models, plus 25,000 miles of complimentary maintenance during our Super Summer Sales event.
And don't forget about back-to-school service savings on mobile, pickup, and delivery.
Come see the Super Dealer today at either Ted Russell Ford location.
What's the #1 home improvement project you could do for your house? Install an Aqua Clear water system. If you see one of our blue and green trucks coming down the road, we're on our way to help another Tennessee family get better water. You owe it to yourself and your family to find out why 18,000 Tennessee homeowners have made the switch to Aqua Clear water systems. For your free water test and estimate, scan the QR code on the screen. We'll change your water. It'll change your life.
Hi, I'm Matt Marshall with Exterior Home Solutions.
Hi, I'm Dustin Woodson, also with Exterior Home Solutions.
We are now easier than ever to find, right off of I-75 and Merchants Road.
It's a new location, but the same trusted expertise in roofing and siding that you've come to trust over the past 25 years.
Local quality craftsmanship, licensed and insured.
For the best and most trusted name in roofing and siding, scan the QR code on your screen.
Exterior Home Solutions, when it has to be the best.
Beyond the Orange is brought to you by the great people at Knoxville Smiles. We appreciate them each and every week here on Beyond the Orange. What makes you smile?
Going to practice every day. I just love working with this team. I love coaching. I love being around them. I love the people I get to do it with. The administration, we're in such a good spot right now. I mean, talking from the president to the chancellor to Danny White, to everybody that works there. It's, when you get to work in an environment like that where everybody is all about excellence and everybody is pulling in the same direction, it makes your job easy and it makes it fun. Winning is hard, but it certainly makes it a whole lot more fun when you like the people you get to do it with.
You come here, I'm going to date myself again because I'm getting old. But you come here 20 plus years ago with Ralph, your husband, co-head coaches, playing at Tyson Park, which has got just chain link fence around it with no frills, right? Now you got this nice park over there. Like when you first got here and you all were able to turn that thing so fast, And, of course, everybody's going to point to Monica, but you had other players, the Christy Durants, and we talk about Childs and Schutzler and Feckerty, and we can keep going right down the list of that group. Like how were those early days? Because, again, you didn't have the frills you have now.
Right. It's interesting you bring that up because our clubhouse is undergoing a renovation starting next week. So we have had to move out, and we're going to be operating out of portable trailers out in the parking lot this season and probably into next fall. The whole project will probably take about 10 months. And, in these next couple of weeks, we're going to take the team on a field trip over to Old Tyson Park.
It's probably
exactly. It's probably something we should have done a long time ago, maybe do every couple of years. But really, just to illustrate the point, it really doesn't matter where we are. It doesn't matter what our circumstances are. Do we have the frills? Do we not have the frills? It's all about what do you do when you get on that field, and how hard do you go about working every day? How do you prepare? How focused are you? How intentional are you? And you don't need a fancy locker room to do those things. You can have a fancy locker room, and if you don't have that, you're not going to win. So we're going to go over there and talk about the history of Tennessee softball and those names you mentioned. People think Monica Abbott, they just assume she played at Cherry Parker Lee Stadium. Monica Abbott never got to throw a pitch in the Tennessee uniform in that stadium. Sarah Feckerty didn't, Christy Durant, India Childs, Kat Card. I mean, you just go down the list. But, they laid the foundation for what we have now. And then so many other players after them continued to set that standard and build a tradition and build a legacy that inspires people to want to even do more for us. And so now we're going to get a renovated clubhouse, new office space. Down the road, we're going to get a brand new indoor facility out there beyond our current batting cage. So it's an exciting time for Tennessee softball.
I remember those early days. It was, a handful of fans and a lot of just family members. And now you come out there, and you got sections, right?
Yeah.
And they're loud, and they're into it, and they're mouthy sometimes,
they
right?
Are.
Does it make you just appreciate where it's come from? Take the brick and mortar of the stadium out of it. The excitement of the fan base, their kind of attention to detail with some of it.
Oh, yeah, it's awesome. I mean, to have those loyal followers that know your game inside and out. They're going to celebrate with you. They're going to cry with you. They're going to critique because they're so passionate about it. But that's what you want. The locos. I mean, they're the envy. We're the envy of everybody else in the SEC. Other coaches ask me, who are they? Are they parents? Are they family members? I'm like, no, they're just passionate Tennessee fans that fell in love with softball, love how close you are to the action. I think our game really lends itself to some of these, fan loyalties. They're close to the action. They feel like they really get to know the players. They get to know the family members. They travel with us. I mean, it blows my mind the amount of time, energy, money that people spend to come watch us play. And it's something that, I feel is my responsibility to remind our players of that. Every time you go out on that field, there's going to be, there's all those people there that have spent money to watch you, but there's somebody who's seeing you for the first time. And this may be the only time they get to see. Maybe they traveled from, hours and hours away. It's, your responsibility to make sure they walk away saying, I enjoyed watching that game. I enjoyed watching that team play. They gave it their all.
I would encourage anybody, if you've never watched Tennessee softball in person, go. Softball's a fun sport. Listen, I love Tennessee baseball, but baseball still moves slow. Softball is a fast pace. I mean, the rubber's quick, shorter to the mound, to home plate. I mean, everything about it is more tight knit, and it just moves faster. I mean, it's a really neat thing to watch when you go out there and watch it in person.
You've got to be quick to be an infielder in our game to make plays. You don't have time to take 3 steps before you throw the ball. So, yeah, it demands a lot of skill, and it is fun. And, I mean, games are 2 to 2.5 hours.
And they move, and they're exciting. We do still like the home runs, even though we might like the slappers too. Who's been your favorite player to coach?
Oh, gosh. A coach is never going to be able to answer that question. Every once in a while, I'll tell the team, it's easy to make my favorite list.
I'll tell you what, let's change that.
Okay.
Who's the one player when they show up and that you go? Because there is one of those. I mean, there's always that one you're like, oh, I have not seen you in forever, and it just kind of gets you excited.
Ooh.
Because I see on Facebook all the time, like you all do a really good job of getting former players back over there and doing that one weekend where you all have all the former Lady Vols. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, they roll back in there for that
They
thing.
do. Yeah. You know, like, there's not just one, probably anybody who hasn't been back in a while. And some of them, you know, Jenna Holcomb came back this fall for a football game for the Oklahoma football weekend. She hadn't been back since the day she graduated and left. And it was just, I think, seeing the look on her face of just, they walk in the clubhouse and you can just see they feel like they're home. And the look of pride they have in the time they spent here, what they helped build here, what is continuing to be built, and just a gratitude for the experience they had here. Their contribution to it, and where they see Tennessee going. So I think it's not about the who, it's just about the what that look represents.
As a coach, how much do you enjoy that? Because, I mean, even doing what I do with football or whatever else, like I left the varsity down in Atlanta after the Syracuse game, and I hear AP, and I look and there's this Dodge Charger, and the windows roll down, and I'm like, I don't know who that is. So I get a little closer, and it's Evan Berry.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and it made me feel good, right? I mean, like, so when you get those players to come back and they're so excited to see coach, how much does that kind of like softens the hardened coach heart a little bit?
I think when they see me around their kids, they see a completely different side of me that they never knew was there. And that is probably my favorite thing. And I tell them all the time, you guys come back for Alumni Weekend. You all go out, go down the old city, go do whatever you used to do with your friends. I will babysit all the kids. And they're like, you're crazy. I said, no. I mean, I absolutely love seeing them as they grow their families, as they grow in their profession, and just go out into the world and become really, really cool, successful people. Cooler, more successful versions of themselves than they were when they were here. So yeah, it's the kids and the families that they grow that make me smile the most.
All right, we'll talk more about Tennessee softball when we return on Beyond the Orange.
Brought to you by Food City. It's the Ask Coach Heupel Show.
Hello, and welcome to Ask Coach Heupel. I'm your host, Josh Heupel. Brent writes, Coach, know any good dad jokes? Hey Brent, thanks for asking. Why is grilling so great in Knoxville? Because the Vols always bring the heat. This has been Ask Coach Heupel, brought to you by Food City, the official tailgating headquarters of the Vols.
And actually,
Attention drives connection. Tell your story well. GoPopFizz.com/vol.
Knoxville Smiles depend on us to make your smile better. Knoxville Smiles, are you happy with your smile today? Knoxville Smiles, we're all about smiles.
Hey Lance, what makes you smile?
Pancake blocks.
The Volunteer Club is your all-access pass to the heartbeat of Tennessee athletics. Ride the orange wave to private events, limited edition merchandise, gifts, and more featuring your favorite UT athletes. Fuel the tradition, celebrate the wins, and stand shoulder to shoulder with the Volunteer family. The Volunteer Club is the home of the most passionate volume fans. Join us today.
I was coming home and a lady hit me head on. It totaled my car, it fractured my right heel, and it bruised me up really badly. The Garza Law Firm, they were very compassionate, but yet they were very detailed. They didn't let me down. They never stopped fighting. It helped me regain confidence in law firms. I would definitely recommend the Garza Law Firm.
The Garza Law Firm.
Everybody ready?
Attention drives connection. Tell your story well. GoPopFizz.com/vol.
One of our proud presenting sponsors of Beyond the Orange is Garza Law. Their motto, let us help. Who's helped you out the most through your softball journey?
Oh gosh, I mean, it'd have to be Ralph. I mean, just the opportunity to do that together for 20 years. And, like we talked about, when you think about the good old days at Tyson Park and growing and building the program, there's no question. And I just learned so much from him because his strengths are things that, weren't my strengths, and just how to build and the vision he had for what we could do here, the belief in what we could do here, and then the way he inspired and motivated everybody who came into this program to believe that that was possible. So no question him. I would say Pat Summitt was a huge influence. When Ralph and I got here, one of the reasons we wanted to come to Tennessee was to be in a department with Pat. I mean, if you're a coach of any sport, crazy to not to want to be around Pat Summitt. And we took advantage of every opportunity we had to, interact with Pat, to pick her brain, call her, all hours of the night if we had a problem that we were trying to solve. And she was always available. Joan Cronin is another one that was just such a great mentor to us. Obviously hired us, but it continues to be a great mentor. Oftentimes after a tough loss, Joan will be the first text message I get, and that really just means a lot.
Do you feel like you said this, that Ralph's strengths were maybe not, I won't say weaknesses, but things that you weren't as strong at? Mm-hmm. Are they things you're strong at now? I've
had to become strong at them. And that was the deal when I decided I was going to keep doing this when he retired. I realized, okay, I'm going to have to be more the big picture person. And I'd always been the kind of the teacher, the grind it out in the cage, grind it out in the bullpen, the one-on-one work. And I love that. But now I have to be, take a bigger, perspective on things and think about the vision for the program, the recruiting plan. What do we want this to look like? Where do we need to tweak things? I lean on a lot of people for that. I think Ralph was probably pretty good at knowing exactly what he wanted to do, and he was going to do it. I'm probably more of a collaborator, and I'm going to get a lot of people's opinions and input. But at the end of the day, I'm going to make the decisions. And I've learned to trust my gut. I think anytime you don't trust your gut is when you kind of get led the wrong way. But just being put in that seat, there's no, substitute for experience. You really don't know what that's going to feel like and how you're going to be in that role until you do it.
So when he decides to retire, how weird was that? All of a sudden he's not there, right? I mean, you go home and he's there.
Yeah.
But I know he was, not trying to hang around a lot, right, and letting it be, your program. So, I mean, how odd was that?
It was weird in the sense of when your co-head coach, your number one assistant, whatever you want to call it, is also your spouse, there's a built-in loyalty. Like, you never worry you're going to get stabbed in the back, right?
Sure.
Now, I've had really good people on my staffs, and I'm not saying that I've ever worried about that with anybody, but it was sort of like, wow, this is the first time it's not that person who, like you say, you go home to every night. And then I think just I think I'll never forget noticing it the very first game in the fall when I'm standing in the dugout and I'm no longer calling the pitches and I'm no longer doing, whatever other job there was that was really kind of a narrow focus job.
Sure.
I'm just kind of having to see the big picture and sort of think about my possible moves in the third or fourth inning, or who might we want to pinch hit first, or how does, and in a way I felt like everyone's working except me, because I'm just sitting here thinking about all these what ifs that could happen in the next 7 innings. And I had to get used to the fact that no, I was working. I was just doing a very different type of work than I'd done before.
What was do you ever get those texts after a game or a phone call after a game? If he's not there, like if you're on the road, like, hey, I would do this.
Yeah, for sure.
How are those received?
I get those even if he's there. Well, I always...
He's got the walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
And we'll need to change pictures.
Yeah. Well, there was one time where I checked my phone after a game and I had a couple missed calls from him. And I think he was up in the press box, and I said later, I go, I can't answer the phone, or I'm not even aware it's ringing during the game. Well, I felt you needed to make a change right there, and I wanted to let you know. And I said, well, I listen to everything Ralph has to offer about it, because I think, he's one of the greatest coaches to ever do this. So, of course, I'm going to. I still have to make whatever decisions that I think are the right ones to make,
Sure.
and I'm going to make wrong ones. We all do. That's just part of being human. and then learn from them. And that's how you learn. You make mistakes and you grow.
All right, we're going to continue to grow on this episode of Beyond the Orange. We'll take a Food City flashback when we come back.
A beacon of hope in a world of high prices. Look to the skies, Knoxville. Super savings is here. Right now, get 0% APR, 0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days on select models, plus 25,000 miles of complimentary maintenance during our super summer sales event.
And don't forget about back-to-school service savings on mobile, pickup, and delivery.
Come see the super dealer today at either Ted Russell Ford location.
To pay for stuff, spending. I do not know. Babe, candy. Spend me. Use me to buy stuff.
It's never too early to learn more about personal finance. At Hearthside Bank, we work closely with our community to help meet your goals and achieve your financial dreams. Hearthside Bank, always within reach. Member FDIC.
I had a stroke, did a year and a half in therapy, and got to the point where I have maxed out at my reading level and physical abilities. So I had to quit my job. When I got the letter from Social Security, they were denying me of Social Security benefits. That's when I went to the Garza Law Firm and took them on as my attorneys to get it done for me. What I loved the most about the Garza Law Firm was their integrity and just their knowledge of the laws, always calling to check on me. Come see the Garza Law Firm and let them get it done for you.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Brought to you by Food City. It's the Ask Coach Heupel Show.
Hello, and welcome to Ask Coach Heupel. I'm your host, Josh Heupel. Jim asks, Coach Heupel, got any tailgating tips? Boy, do I. Jim, did you know Food City's gourmet burgers are handmade in-store by a certified butcher? Saturday is almost here. Are you game day ready? This has been Ask Coach Heupel. With me, Coach Heupel.
This week's Food City Flashback takes us back to the great Monica Abbott. What a career she had. Unbelievable. The big left-hander was near unstoppable wearing that Summit Blue and that Tennessee Orange for Ralph and Karen Weekly. When you look now, you have a pretty good one in the circle right now. Set records for speed.
Yeah.
And then you got Monica, who just set records.
Mm-hmm.
When you're recruiting now, is that the greatest, like, hey, can you guys get on a FaceTime with this recruit? Because that's got to be the easiest for a pitcher to be able to make a sale.
Yeah, it's pretty cool when you think about the history of pitching here at Tennessee. And in the recruiting process this last fall with our 27 class, we did put together over time, the different, legendary pitchers that have come through this program. Just two phenomenal pitchers and people. I mean, I'm just so proud of what Monica not only did here at Tennessee, but then what she continued to do when she left here.
Yeah.
Monica, it's really hard to continue to grow and become better as an athlete when you don't have a really, really healthy, sustainable pro league. And we haven't. Now we are getting one with the AUSL. It's finally getting there. So Monica had to do all that on her own. I mean, the discipline it required for Monica to stay in shape, to continue to get better as a pitcher, develop more pitches, to be able to compete internationally like she did, was just something that I marvel at. Carlin, Carlin is, a better person than she is a pitcher. And when Carlin broke that record and there was so much publicity about it, I remember that evening she and I were texting and I said, Carlin, everyone's going to know that you've set the record for speed, but what I want people to know is what an incredible human being you are. I don't know that I've ever coached a more well-rounded person in terms of such a high level of talent, so many honors and awards, so much attention. Such a humble teammate, such an incredible leader, somebody who is a model citizen in the community, gives back to her hometown, such old school values and just so grounded. And that's what I want people to know about Carlin. They see how fast she throws and what she does on the softball field, but there's way more to that young lady than a softball.
Coach, we appreciate you coming out and going beyond the orange with us, okay?
Yeah, you're welcome. It's been fun.
Tennessee softball coach Karen Weekly.